I've been calling you.
What happened?
God, your pictures are everywhere.
Wait, what?
Go check your phone right now.
I'll check right now. Oh my God.
I have been cyberbullied, and I know how it feels like to be a victim.
मेरी दोस्ती उससे यूनिवर्सिटी में हुई थी।
टोला खबर द फेसबुक में शुरू हुआ।
मैं नहीं जानती वो कौन था।
We live in a world where technology has become an integral part of our daily lives. Over the past century, technologies have completely transformed human lifestyles and the way humans connect to one another. One of the most remarkable achievements of technology is Internet. Along with its enormous benefits, Internet has led to one of the most terrifying crimes of today's world. That is, the cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying is one of the fastest growing crimes in the world, targeting mostly children and teenagers. One of the major reasons behind the rise and emergence of cyberbullying is the issue of online anonymity. Cyberbullying may occur in various forms that include cyberstalking, disseminating any personal information, or posting any hateful messages to an individual. Although all forms of bullying have an adverse effect to the victims, but cyberbullying opens the bar of terror for numerous reasons.
Cyberbullying is a willful and intentional act, and with the use of the electronic devices, let's say computers, websites, social media accounts, and everything that is available on your electronic devices.
According to a study carried out among 25 countries, Pakistan takes 22nd place for the highest rate of cyber harassment. According to the Digital Rights Foundation data, majority of the cases received by cyber harassment helpline was from Punjab and following the other provinces.
About few years ago, my father gifted me a cell phone as I promoted to grade 9.
It all started from chatting to long telephonic conversations.
And we fell in love.
Day by day, I felt closer to her and started sharing my personal life with her.
I used to trust him blindly. I thought it was love until I figured out it was not. In fact, it was a plot.
It was not until the end of my semester that I decided to take my phone along to take photos of important notes that were required for the exam's preparation.
Finally, we decided to meet in reality. I still remember it was Tuesday, 11 a.m. 2015.
When I went back home, I realized I lost my phone, but I don't know how. Probably I left it at the library, not sure.
She told me to meet her at a place near Hayatabad, but when I reached there, the place looked very deserted to me.
The next day at school, every person from my class was staring at me and constantly scrolling through their phones, murmuring and giggling. I felt strange.
Basically, this phenomena has came here in our society and culture from the West. For their kids, it is kind of entertainment they get by making fun of others. And in our society, it is getting popular. For example, it is more common in youth.
The first reason is that the cyberspace is expanding. People are using more internet, and this trend is emerging fast as well. Number two, in our context, I think, in our socio-cultural context, people have, different vendettas, they have enmities, and now they find it very easy to settle the score by indulging in cybercrime. It's very easy, you don't have to fight, you don't have to take a gun, you just sit in a very cozy atmosphere and then you can just play with that and the other person's life is ruined. So this is an easy way. Number three is that our youngsters especially, they are not trained well how to use how to make a judicious use of the internet.
When I went to have a word with my friend regarding the entire situation, she told me how somebody managed to get an access to my Facebook account. There were plenty of inappropriately photoshopped pictures of mine sent to my entire friend list with obscene messages along. As I saw those pictures and read those texts, I was taken aback.
So many girls have come to me where their accounts have been hacked. Facebook account, for example, have been hacked. Their Instagram accounts been hacked, and people would be sending messages out of those somebody else's account as well. For example, now on your smartphones you have so many apps that you can download for free, and you can create pictures. You can even make videos. You can change voices in the videos, and these things are so easy to use, and our children are so much into all of this stuff.
If we get a complaint, then we analyze the complaint. If the complaint, for example, relates or pertains to the Facebook, that somebody has created a fake account of somebody, or even a genuine account, or he or she is putting some obnoxious material from that, then we take an order from the court that is called subpoena. It is a court order which is then forwarded to the Facebook authorities in the United States, and then they respond. They provide us the IP from where that activity or that fake ID has been created, and from there we can trace fake account and who has created that.
Every day at school, I have been anonymously receiving abusive notes, referring me as attention seeker, loner, skinny, and ugly.
Any kid of around this age, they want to defame others, they want to get out of their complexes, and they want to get the higher position. They want to come in the limelight. They want to get the superiority that other person is having, and they do not have that liberty to enjoy. It is now becoming a phenomena that before you get bullied, you need to bully others, to enjoy yourself, to make fun of others, to laugh on others, and it gives them a reason to control themselves as well as to control others. This is the satisfaction they get usually from that.
Within few minutes, two broad men with their faces covered attacked me from behind and took everything that I had. My watch, my phone, my wallet, everything.
I did not know when and how he recorded videos and snapped pictures of our personal moments.
Despite of being frightened myself, I tried looking for her everywhere out of concern. Being hopeless, I went back home. I tried calling her phone was switched off and her Facebook account was deleted. I figured out that I had just been a victim of a scam.
And soon after, he started blackmailing me.
In the last 3 years, since Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act was passed in 2016, we have received 32,000 complaints, rather more than that. And most of the complaints, they are about cyberbullying, cyberstalking, damaging the modesty of a natural person, damaging the integrity of a natural person. Then we have received cyber frauds, bank frauds, ATM skimming, child pornography, it is quite common, and few cases of cyber terrorism.
After a few days, screenshots of my personal texts with her went viral. Everyone in my college was laughing at me.
My friends suggested me to visit the school's administration and resolve the ongoing issue that is causing me great suffering. Upon her suggestion, I visited the administrator and discussed the entire unpleasant scenario. Instead of helping me out, he started blaming me for why I created a social media profile in the first place. He warned me how girls should refrain themselves from uploading their photos and sharing information online.
सबसे पहले ज़रूरी चीज़ ये है कि there should be counseling set up within all of the schools, may that be private or the government. They need to take that responsibility to train their own staff and then make sure that there is at least one counselor available in each school, so if the child has a problem, they know who to go to. And even the teachers should be trained because they interact with children all the time. They know their children's personalities. You know, teachers can play such an important role in this. If the teachers are trained and they can spot the signs of bullying or abuse, then they should be able to reach out to children and talk openly. The children need to know that they have a safe access. They have somebody to go to and talk to. If they don't feel comfortable to go and talk to their parents, then at least in the school they have somebody to talk to.
I was devastated and scared. I didn't want my parents to know anything about it.
It would have been really difficult. I didn't know how my parents would react, nor would they ever forgive me. With this fear, I was fulfilling all his unjust demands.
When I told my friends about the entire scenario, instead of helping me out, they started making fun of me and labeled me as a coward Pakhtun man. For any man being labeled as a coward or weak is a great shame, and it is extremely worse when you belong to a Pakhtun family. This was the reason why I never shared it with my family either.
We've got this core issue in the society, may that be cyberbullying or on ground, face to face, traditional bullying. हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा issue है where when we're talking about girls especially, because when girls are bullied or even children, teenagers are bullied, they don't tend to talk about it. They get scared. They are they don't want to share the issues, especially with their parents, because we've got this sort of family culture where families don't really encourage children to speak to them. So we need to come up with a very supportive environment. We need to be very understanding and we need to assure our children and people around us that if there is an issue and they need to talk about it, then they must do so, and they must not suffer in silence, because when that happens, that leads on to so many problems. And as mothers, as parents, and mothers especially, we need to really open up to our children and we need to talk about these things, and we need to make our children understand कि जहाँ हम अगर if our child can be the victim, and we need to be very supportive with them. Similarly, we need to make sure that our children understand the consequences as well, कि अगर वो किसी को कर रहे हैं तो उसका क्या impact create हो सकता है. तो बच्चों में I think वो respect का element create करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, उनको समझाना बहुत ज़रूरी है, and that goes for both girls and boys.
The impact of cyberbullying can have long-term consequences for everyone related to this activity. The risk and dangers associated with cyberbullying can be more chronic. The victims faces mental and psychological challenges such as depression, anxieties, insecurities, suicidal thoughts, as well as low self-esteem. It also involves serious physical repercussions such as migraines and sleepless nights.
It was more of living a nightmare where everyone judges you for something you never did, with an identity that isn't yours. As a result, I became vulnerable, depressed, and lonely. My education was also suffering.
Circumstances are being faced by the victims. They get severe kind of psychological as well as physical consequences. They face a lot of emotional issues, including anxiety, depression, stress, and aggression as well. It gives them frustration. They do not have any medium to express themselves. They do not have any platform to talk about that because of that generation gap, that communication gap that we have with our parents and with the generation above us. So with this gap, with this communication gap, generation gap, we do not get the liberty to talk openly about the cyberbullying or any act we face. The youth usually tend to avoid it to talk about because they know it is not going to benefit them. It is going to harm them more because they are on the edge of their self-esteem that might get collapsed in any way. So when they think they are going to talk about it, will damage their self-esteem more and more. So they do not talk about that. They try to cope with it passively rather than being active about it. So this is what they face.
Being helpless, I deactivated all my social media accounts.
I was scared of becoming a laughing stock.
At one point of my life, I wanted to commit suicide. I was depressed and I was suffering. That's all I knew.
Among many psychological issues faced by the victims of cyberbullying, one most important phenomena is suicide ideation or suicide attempt. Suicide ideation is when they think of attempting it, and suicide attempt is when they actually attempt it. So there are many cases of suicide attempts as well associated with cyberbullying.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life. I broke my family's trust.
I finally decided to share the horrific experience with my mother, and she immediately changed my school. I thought that would help, but it didn't. The hate I received online crushed me completely and sabotaged all my confidence.
When we deal such kind of cases, we give them a platform to talk about their emotions. There are many therapies that we do with those clients that include rational emotive behavior therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy. What we do, we teach the client to talk about their irrational, their negative thoughts, beliefs, disputes and conflicts. So when they come to us, we apply such kind of therapies. We give them the platform to talk more and more about their experiences, and openly, without the fear of judgment, without the fear of evaluation.
In our society, girls are predominantly the victim of most of the crimes, but cyberbullying is just as worse for us men as it is for women.
So the phenomena of cyberbullying is not confined or restricted to one gender only. It is not like gender-specified phenomena. It happens to both males and females. The only reason that restrict males from coming up is that the label that males are being cyberbullied. So this is the only thing which restrict them to come up with this issue.
I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know who to blame. But that person did leave a lifetime shame, doubt, and a question with me.
There are massive cases where cyberbullying are left unreported, either by fear or by compromise.
Walaikum Salam.
From which code are you coming from?
I'm coming from cyber court.
What was the case about?
Actually, it is a case under Section PICA, Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act 2016.
What happened in today's proceedings?
Actually, there are two accused in the incident FIR, and to the extent of my accused, a compromise has been effected between the victim and the accused.
Most of the crimes, they are compoundable, and the compromise is effected in the presence of the judicial officer, in the court. We can't ask the people to compromise. That is not our mandate. Our mandate is to register a case, to investigate, and then to prosecute, to put all the evidence before the magistrate, before the court of law. And then it is for the judge to decide whether compromise has to be effected or not. But there are three sections of law, as I have already mentioned. Section 10, that is cyber terrorism. Section 21, that is damaging the modesty of a natural person, where people put pictures, obscene pictures on the internet and so on. And then Section 22, child pornography. These three sections, they are non-compoundable. There can't be any compromise. In all other sections of law of PICA, compromise can be effected.
आप पर किस चीज़ का इल्ज़ाम था?
इल्ज़ाम साइबर क्राइम का केस था। इल्ज़ाम यह था कि मेरे फ़ोन से तस्वीरें वायरल हुई हैं, एडिट हो गई। कज़न था मेरा, वो फ़ोन मुझसे लेके मिसगाइड यूज़ करता रहा, इसलिए पता नहीं चला। बाद में फिर पता चला तो ये केस बन गया था, मुझ पर FIR हो गई थी।
तो कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ किस बात पे हुआ है?
कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ इस बात पे हुआ है कि उनको पता चल गया था कि ये इस पे ये बेगुनाह है, तो थोड़ा उनको एहसास हुआ, फिर उन्होंने कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ कर लिया है।
Cyberbullying is so complex that it becomes extremely difficult to identify the bully due to enormity, and sometimes an innocent is accused to be a bully while the actual bully remains unknown.
जब कोई victim होता है, they might think they're being bullied by somebody particular, and they may not be actually being bullied by that person. So having a one-to-one conversation, there's no harm in it. लड़कियों को डरना नहीं चाहिए, स्पेशली कि वो डर के मारे अगले बंदे से बात नहीं करें, बहुत ओपनली बात करनी चाहिए, उनको रीच आउट करना चाहिए, उनको एक्सेस करना चाहिए। अगर आपको अथॉरिटीज़ के थ्रू करना पड़े तो आप अथॉरिटीज़ के थ्रू करें, पर मेक श्योर दैट जो आपको बजाय इसके कि वो बंदा इसमें जो है जिसको हम समझ रहे हैं कि वो बुली कर रहा है, कि वो भी इसमें विक्टिम ना बन जाए। तो चीज़ों को बहुत अच्छी तरह से देखने की ज़रूरत है। और वही इट्स आई थिंक इट्स ट्रेडिशनल वे ऑफ कि आप जब इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहे होते हैं एक केस, तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में बहुत सारे लोग जो होंगे वो उसके अंदर आ सकते हैं और उन सब पे इम्पैक्ट पड़ सकता है क्या, अगेन बिकॉज टेक्नोलॉजी है और कनेक्टिविटी है और रूमर्स निकलते हैं। तो अब रूमर्स उस तरह नहीं होते जो पिछले ज़माने की तरह थे, अब रूमर्स इंटरनेट पे होते हैं और विद इन सेकेंड्स देयर एवरीवेयर, और सबको पूरी दुनिया को पता चल जाता है कि कौन क्या कर रहा है और किस पे क्या इल्ज़ाम है, फॉर एग्जांपल, और वो दैट स्टेज विद देम फॉर रेस्ट ऑफ देयर लाइव्स एज़ वेल।
Unfortunately, these are only some of the stories that occurs around us on daily basis. Cyberbullying has become one of the most notorious crimes today. More than half of the world is facing this problem at the present day. Various researchers have proven that many of the identities get stolen per minute. In Pakistan, due to lack of technological advancement and online security measurement taken by the higher authorities, cyberbullying has continued to devastate many lives.
At the present day, cyberbullying continues to haunt not only the general public, but the high-profile public figures are also not immune to it. Pakistani lawyer and internet activist Nigadat is one of the prominent figures of Pakistan who launched the first female cyber harassment helpline under the Digital Rights Foundation for the victims of cyberbullying in Pakistan.
It is high time to break this taboo. Victims must now remain silent and should speak out for themselves. And if you know anyone who's going through cyberbullying, then you must reach out to that person for help, because together we can do this, and together we can fight this issue.